Hello creators, in this video I will be showing you some basic features that you can use inside of our canvas system on MyDesigns. So let's get started. I'm in a collection here that has 6 of these camping designs that look pretty good, and these are what I'll be using as an example today. So the first thing I want to point out is in order to get to our canvas system, you just click it here. It's right next to Fraser AI and right next to Actions. So we'll just click into that. I do want to note as well that you need to have your file selected that you want the canvas system to work on before you click into it. So now that we're here, I first want to point out that we have a template for every single product that you can sell on MyDesigns if you just click the select template drop down here. As you can see, there's a bunch of options now. A lot of them are the same dimensions, 45 by 5400, as that's what is the recommended dimensions for most print files for like t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, and things like that. But there are sticker sheets, single-use stickers, mugs, etc., and we'll also be expanding on this quite a bit in the future. But I do want to show you a couple examples, and the first one I'm going to show you is the mugs. So we'll just select this white mug 15 ounce here, and as you can see it pulled up a template, but our image is way too big because it is set for t-shirts at 4500 by 5400 pixels. So we're going to want to just make this quite a bit smaller so that it fits on this canvas here. Maybe a little bigger than that. And the next thing I want to point out is that you can actually duplicate your image right here inside of the canvas. So because this is going on a mug, this print file, you could imagine it wraps around the mug. So we're probably going to want to put this always take the scenic route on both sides of this mug, not just on one single side. So what we can do is click the duplicate button here. Now that it's duplicated, we can actually use shortcuts. If you look down here where I'm highlighting, you can do Control Shift and the arrow key to move this over. So if I do that now, that's what it will do. So now it's perfectly set up on both sides of this to be ready for a mug print file. And the way that we can also do this for all of our files at one single time is just clicking the sync button here, and I'll show you what this does. So when I click sync, you can see that it did this on all 6 of my designs at once. And you know, you can do it on way more than that if you prefer to. I'm just using 6 as an example. But just like that, with the click of a button, we have 6 print ready files for mugs. So next, all I would have to do here is just click apply, and you'll see that it puts it here in the mug print file. While it's doing that, I do want to point out you need to make sure you select that print file. So as you can see, my input slot is default, which is what had these designs in it. My output slot is the mug print file, which is just a file slot that I named that as an example. So now that that's done, you can see if we double click this, you'll see just like that, all 6 of those are ready to go for mugs. Next, I want to show you guys some examples of what you can do with mockups inside of the canvas system. So once again, I'll click inside the canvas, and then next I want to change the input slot to be mockup 1, as I've created this ahead of time. As you can see, that is much smaller than what we have our canvas set to. So if we want to change that, we can actually adjust it on our own at any point by just changing our dimensions here, or we can click this fit canvas to image size, and then just like that, we have it perfect how we need it to be. So next, I want to point out that if you want to add a background color behind this, you can just click this checkbox down here. Just like that, you can see I have a white background, and by clicking this select color option, we can go change the color at any point as well. I'm not going to use that. I just wanted to show you guys as an example. If you did want to, you could do it there. Now we can also add elements to this mockup. So I'm sure you've seen across different Etsy shops and shops online that they have things like 50% off or their store logo or ships next day. So I'm going to show you an example of what you can do with those as well. You can actually just take your image and drag and drop it onto the canvas. As you can see, it was highlighted upload to canvas, and then we can resize it that way. If we want to change the angle of it, we can do it here, or we can also do it here on rotate. We can also change the scale here if you don't want to do it by doing it that way. I prefer to do it this way, but that is an option as well. And if we also want to change the opacity, we can do it by selecting that there. So I'm going to put it in this corner and maybe just turn it slightly like that. And then I'm going to put shop logo on the other side. Probably make it the same size as this one roughly. And then let's say I wanted to add ships next day as well. I would probably move this mock-up down a bit. And then I would drag and drop ships next day over here. And then I can put it at the top of my mock-up like that. So that's just an example of what you could do. I probably wouldn't use this, obviously. I just want to show you guys what's possible. There is one more thing I wanted to show you, and you can actually add backgrounds behind this if you don't want to use a color. A lot of people love doing their own backgrounds, so we just drag and drop it, and now you can see it's much bigger than our canvas, so we're going to need to resize it to be smaller. We actually don't have to resize it, as it will just fill the areas of the canvas. But what we do want to do is make sure that we go up here and click move down, so you can see each of those elements I dropped are on a different layer. So when I click move down 4 times, now you'll see the backdrop is this wood looking background. So now that we're done with that, all we need to do is remember to click the sync button if we're working with multiple listings. So you can see I had 6 listings selected. When I click this sync button, now I can go select my different listings right here, and you can see that we just created those mock-ups for all 6 listings at the same time. Now, the next thing I want to point out is that Etsy has a 10 megabyte limit on mock-up sizes, and PNGs are much larger than JPEGs. So when you create a mock-up like this, you'll want to make sure that you export it as a JPEG. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to change my output file slot to be mockup1 as well, as I'm just going to overwrite the same file that I already had. And then I click apply, and it gives you a warning whenever there's already an image in that file slot. So we'll just click yes, overwrite all files. And just like that, that's done. So you can see we've created 6 mockups with different elements on them in the matter of a minute. That covers everything that I wanted to show you guys in this video. I will be making another video on the Canvas system, as there's so many more things that you can do with it, but I just wanted to show off a small amount of the potential behind it. So I will catch you guys in the next video.